Hello my dear children, welcome to one more amazing session from Sri Chaitanya Academy. This is Suresh, Faculty of Chemistry. आज हम चर्चा करने वाले हैं कल का जो टॉपिक बचा है Chemical Kinetics. So you guys are all busy with the preparation of CBSE examination. In the preparation of CBSE boards examination, don't leave NEET examination apart. So we crafted these sessions in such a way that it's a tailored session. We will give you the session a CBSE pattern as well along with the NEET flavor. So Arnav, Arav, hello, how are you? Those students who are online, please like the session and share with your friends and subscribe to Sri Chaitanya Academy NEET Infinity Learn YouTube channel. So in this chemical kinetics, whenever you have a project or you have a task, you need to have a plan. So what is that plan? I am going to help you out of how to make a good score in chemical kinetics. You know this particular chapter carries 6 to 8 marks in board examination. Yes, it is correct. And Bacho, I'll give you a concurrent plan for this. You adhere to that plan and will continue what exactly happened in yesterday's class. Okay, Bacho, let us see here in understand the chapter weightage. It is 6 to 8 marks. So important. So mostly numericals will come and the theory oriented concepts also there. And so the goal is you need to have a proper concept clarity, Bacho. And also numerical accuracy is also important because this is a board time. Students are more busy with your board examination. And let us do these boards along with the NEET examination preparation. Now let us see. Aage physics examination hai na? So enjoy your examination schedules and you can see the basic concepts are there. Rate of a reaction, average rate and instantaneous rate, bacho. And units of the rate is also very important. And these basics but essential for numericals. So here I want to say, and the step 2 is rate law and order of reaction. From my childhood days I am seeing the difference between order and molecularity is a common question is being repeatedly asked. So never leave that. And you can see focus on rate law is equal to K A to the power M and B to the power N, where M and N are the order. So the M plus N is going to be the overall order of the reaction. Most of the cases, zero order and the first order of the reaction are very important, and pseudo first order reactions, sucrose hydrolysis, inversion of sugar, and ester hydrolysis is the best example for that. So difference, as I told you bacho, difference between the order and molecularity of a reaction is very important. मेरे बचपन से देख रहे हो last point, molecularity, the difference between the molecularity and order. And moving ahead here, we have maximum four numerical based formulas. So rate law expressions, integrated rate expressions for zero order. A is equal to A naught minus KT. A is a concentration at time and A naught is initial concentration minus KT. K is the rate constant, T is the time. For the first order, K is equal to 2.303 by T log A naught by A. So never leave these formulas, and this is the most important. The same formula can be written as Ka is equal to 2.303 by T log A by A minus X. This formula can help you. Both formulas are same. And also you have exponential form of the Arrhenius equation. K is equal to A exponent minus EA by RT. बच्चों लोग आ रहा सवारियाँ and taking the logarithm, log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303 RT. And from this you can say log K2 upon K1 is equal to EA by 2.303 or T2 minus T1 upon T1 T2. So this is a super important formula. You are going to get a straight away question from the NCERT and CBSE examination. Let it be for the NEET or any kind of examination. But so here from there you are going to see the graph as well. You can see log K upon 1 by T. You're going to get a straight line with a negative slope, bachcho. In that I can say this is going to be, slope will be minus EA by minus EA by 2.303. I want to say, if slope is given in the examination, you are asked to calculate activation energy. Is very important aspect. Moving ahead, the graphs here. Graphical questions are important, as I told you. ठीक है बेटा, how to practice? Majority of the students share with me personally whenever you prepare for an examination. Yes, numericals बहुत tough लग रहे हैं sir. I'm weak in solving numericals. No worries, you can solve numericals. So these are the things. Do all NCERT examples, NCERT back exercise questions as well, and previous 10-year CBSE numericals. And you know, CBSE loves repeating numericals, and the numerical pattern भी है, एक खास बात है, very important, right? And also I want to say here, this is how to write in the board examination. So you are a very good student, nice. And how to write in the examination, that is the game changer. So लिखने का आदत रखो बेटा. Just simply you just CBSE checking method. I am actually I participated in CBSE paper evaluations several times, and a checking pattern कैसे होगा? Write the formula. So formula लिखा कि नहीं, examiner check करना पड़ता. If you solve the problem directly, you will not get full marks. You have to write the formula, right? And substitute the values along with the units, and write the final answer with the unit. Maintain these steps. Even the answer is wrong, the steps you follow can fetch marks. You like it? How to write in the board examination. That's such an important pattern. Write the formula, substitute along with the units, and give the answer along with the units. However, the answer is wrong, definitely you are going to fetch a mark, right? So follow this method, and important tips. So here बच्चों, फर्स्ट ऑर्डर रिएक्शन के एक न्यूमेरिकल होगा, हाफ लाइफ का कंपैरिजन में एक न्यूमेरिकल हो सकता है, यूनिट्स ऑफ रेट कांस्टेंट के हिसाब से एक आगा, एंड ऑर्डर एंड मॉलिक्युलरिटी. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, मेरा बचपन से देख रहे हो ना. And activation energy calculation, graph based questions. So if it is based on activation energy calculation, simply you follow this, log K is equal to log A minus EA by RT, that's it. And half-life comparison, T of for the first order is going to be 0.693 by K for the first order. I am talking about the first order. Rate constant कैसे निकाल सकता हूँ? K is equal to 2.303 by T log A naught upon AT. Log A naught upon AT. So your life is going to be so easy if you know how to handle these three formulas in the chemical kinetics. No worries, I will make you to learn this and your life become so easy. Fine. Now let us see the continuation of the yesterday's class, we discussed about the various things, and let us see order and everything we have seen, rate of reaction, rate law. So, effect of concentration. So, there you are going to see the big scenario about the rate law and the order of a reaction. So, rate of a reaction is often found to the proportional to the concentration of the reactant raised to its power. I mean to say, A gives rise to product. So, experimentally the rate is given as K and concentration to the of A to the power n, where n is equal to order, and this order is not depend on the stoichiometric number, bacho. That's very important. Right. So, let us see how it is going to change the scenario. So, you have two types of rates, average or instantaneous rate. So, the instantaneous rate concentration is directly proportional to the concentration to the power order. Rate is equal to K concentration to the power order. So, this is what is called rate law. In this rate law, rate of reaction is directly proportional to A to the power x and B to the power y, if A plus B gives rise to C plus D. So, only reactant का concentration पर depend को होना चाहिए. So, here where A, B, C, D are the numbers we use for balancing the reaction, while x and y values are only dependent on the experimental behavior of the reaction. So, A may or may not be equal to x, B may or may not be equal to y. So, why it is not equal? My question is the same. If a student is asking why it is not related, now I am going to ask the same question, why it is related. Okay. So, it is not related, it is the behavior of the reaction. So, based on that, so the differential rate expression का हिसाब से the rate law में the जो powers आता है ना, that sum of the powers in the rate law expression is said to be order of a reaction, right? And this order can be 0, or this order can be 1, 2, 3, or sometimes a fractional also. So, any doubt, bacho? This is a live interactive session. If you have any doubts, you can use this chat box and discuss with us. Now, moving ahead, it can be only established by experimental observation, and the rate is equal to K, a reactant to the power order. So, that is the rate law expression where K is equal to rate constant. Let us try to find out what is K. So, the rate upon reactant concentration to the power n, and its dimension also based on that. Fine. Where n is the order of a reaction. The order of a reaction can be 0 order, first order, second order, whatever. Let us see here. The rate constant depends only on the temperature. If you increase the concentration, decrease the concentration, it will not be dependent. It depends only on the temperature. Nobody can change. And unit of rate, unit of concentration is mole inverse, mole liter inverse. Unit of rate is equal to concentration to the power 1 and time. So, here unit of K is equal to mole 1 minus n, liter n minus 1, and second inverse. N is the order. N is the order. So, for 0 order, n is equal to 0. So, the K is equal to mole liter inverse second inverse. So, there is an order in the chemistry. The rate of a reaction and the rate constant has the same units. By looking at that unit, you can say whether it is what type of order it is. To find out, so this is the trick. Somebody in the chart box, you please tell me what is the order constant for the first order. K का dimension क्या होगा? Second inverse. Fine. बच्चों, so this is a live interactive session. I suggest the students please use the chat box and ask whatever the doubts you have. I am ready to hear. I can help you and I'll make you to better in scoring chemistry in both board examination and NEET examination also. We are discussing the concept in the level of boards as well as a NEET examination. Bachcho, I strongly recommend you can be more interactive, more and more interactive. Here I want to say, order of a reaction is determined experimentally. So, rate is directly proportional to a to the power b to the power p, a to the power p, b to the power q and c to the power r. P is the order with respect to a, q is the order with respect to b and r is the order with respect to c. So, P plus Q plus R is going to be the overall order of a reaction. Overall order of a reaction. Now, sum of the exponents is equal to P plus Q plus R is going to be the overall order of a reaction. And here you can say P may or may not be equal to A, Q may or may not be equal to B and R may or may not be equal to C. That is a very important thing. Characteristics of an order of a reaction. Characteristics of an order of a reaction. Here the order of a reaction can be 0 or any whole number and it can be sometime a fractional also. Bachcho, it can even be negative with respect to a particular reactant, but the overall order can never be negative. And which of the following is a wrong statement, which of the following is a correct statement? If you have just theoretical approach in your mind, if you have a clarity, you can do the best in your any examination. So, be emotional and connect with the chemical kinetics. When I was studying in grade 12, a long ago, I used to get a very good score in chemical kinetics because it is, yes, because students like speed. So, the speed of chemical reaction is studied based on chemical kinetics and the factors influencing this. So, example, order of a reaction, it could be a first order reaction. Now, when this is a reaction N2O5 decomposes to gives rise N2 plus O2, if you balance is 2 N2O5 molecules gives rise 4 NO2. But this 2 is irrespective, but its behavior is going to be rate is equal to K N2O5 to the power 1. So, overall order of a reaction is going to be 1. Fine. And you can also say 5Br plus BrO3 minus 6H plus 3Br2 plus 3H2O. And the overall order of a reaction Br to the power 1, BrO3 minus power 1, H2 power 2. So, overall order is going to be 4. Sir, here it is shown that 5, it is shown that 1, it is shown that 6. Then how do I know these numbers? First of all, you remove something from your mind that by looking at these numbers, don't try to write this. Now, you are more anxious about how to write this. To write this, we need some data that is given from the experiment, methods that involve in determination of an order. That is a concept we need to learn. The behavior of this reaction is explained in terms of a concept called order. Let us go and detailed version of this. Bacho, right? Now, you can see a balanced equation does not necessarily give a true picture of how the reaction takes place. That is actually the fact. Rarely a reaction gets completed in one step, but it may have multiple steps better. The reaction involves a single step is called an elementary reaction, simple reaction. So, the sum of the stoichiometric coefficients is equal to order of a reaction. किसका? Elementary reaction का. But हर reaction elementary कभी नहीं होता है. It may take place in multiple steps that require a mechanism, and that is the way you have to study. Somebody asked someone, what is the chemistry? I simply say chemistry is a study of chemical reaction. So, study of chemical reaction means कौन सा reactant, कौन सा product दे सकते हैं? नहीं. Why this reaction is taking place like this and how it is taking place. That is called chemistry. One student in the class the other day, he was just cracking a joke. I really enjoyed the joke. What is chemistry when I asked? He simply said, sir, chemistry is a collection of all exceptions. Yes, आप पढ़ाई करके आपको टक गया. You vexed up studying all exceptions. But chemistry has its own logic. So, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आपको आदत रखना पड़ता. Right? Now, for elementary reaction H2 plus I2 gives rise to HA. So, the rate is equal to K H2 plus I2. Overall order is going to be because this reaction takes place in a single step elementary reaction. Fine, 8 is an elementary reaction. I love it. I strongly recommend those students who are online, please like the session. If not elementary, क्या होगा? Right? Now, let us talk about a complex reaction. Let's talk about a complex reaction. The reaction involves more than one step is called complex reaction. The order is experimentally calculated. For a complex reaction, it is experimentally calculated. That is correct. For a reaction that is taking place, most of the reactions may not be elementary reactions, they are complex reactions. So, example NO plus H2 gives us N2 plus H2O. So, a reaction, it is not taking place in a single step. The possible way of steps can be like this. You can also make your own possibility according to the accepted chemical bonding and other thermodynamic parameters. NO is going to give rise N2O2. This N2O2 combines with hydrogen gives rise N2 and H2O. That N2O is combining with H2 gives rise N2 plus H2O. Overall reaction में जो N2O2 है ना ये काटना पड़ता है and N2O. So overall reaction is going to be NO square and H2. Order is going to be 3. Are you getting or not? Now moving ahead, here it is going to be methods to analyze the rate of reaction. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 methods are there, and let us see various methods. Okay, So before going for this, let us talk about integrated rate expression directly. We can time bhi bachega because it takes some time. So integrated rate law, no need to go for zero order. Let us go for the zero order and the first order. Second order का काफी नहीं चाहिए आपको. When the reaction proceeds, you have instantaneous rate of reaction. The rate of a reaction with respect to the time, that instant of time is called instantaneous rate. But that instantaneous rate is not constant throughout the time with variation of concentration. So that we have to take into the consideration of integrated rate expression for the throughout the process. So for that, what I want to do here is integrated rate expression for zero order reaction. For the zero order reaction, A gives rise to product. So rate of a reaction is equal to K A to the power n, and when zero order n is equal to 0 beta, so that rate is equal to K. So that's the reason why for zero order reaction rate का जो dimension है mole liter inverse second inverse should equal to the rate constant mole liter inverse second inverse. And I want to say, when you take this for a zero order, rate is equal to K A to the power 0 minus d A by dt is equal to K A to the power 0. So A to the power 0 is equal to 1. So minus dA by dt is equal to K. And you can integrate this because rate and concentration zero order is independent on the concentration, so that it is the behavior of the zero order reaction. And when you take this minus d, I said minus dA by dt is equal to Ka to the power 0, this is going to be 1. So that K dt is equal to minus A minus dA is equal to K dt. You can integrate this expression from initial concentration A naught to AT, A naught to AT, from time 0 to t. So you are going to get this as concentration of A become AT. You can say integrated expression as I want to say A naught minus AT is equal to KT. Directly you can get it with that. A naught is the concentration at time 0 and AT is the concentration at time t. And this is the expression called integrated rate law, and इसका ग्राफ भी काफ़ी important है, NCERT में दिया हुआ. So this is going to be concentration of A with respect to is going to be a straight line with a negative slope. Slope is going to be minus K, ये expression का हिसाब से. So graphs are important. Simply graph will be given, you are asked to get what is the slope, and you will be asked to draw a graph for zero order reaction. You have to draw this and write the expression. Understand? Clear? And moving ahead, so unit of rate constant as I mentioned, and K is equal to A naught minus AT upon T, and unit of K is equal to concentration time inverse, and unit of K is the same, mole liter inverse and second inverse. Okay? And this is about the zero order reaction. Fine. And moving ahead, time for completion of the reaction. First order का काफ़ी important है, infinite time लगेगा. Here it is going to be time for completion of reaction, the time that required to complete the reaction. AT becomes 0. So time required, K is equal to A naught minus AT by T. K is equal to A naught minus 0 by T. So T completion is equal to A naught by K. Fine. Moving ahead, half-life. What is half-life? Half-life is the time required when the concentration of the reactants become half of its initial concentration, and it means that the reaction is half completed and the time required to make the initial concentration to the half is going to be half-life of reaction. So, at T off, so AT is equal to A naught by 2. So, on doing so, T half for the 0 order is equal to A naught by 2K. A naught by 2K. This is the characteristics of 0 order. So, that T half for the 0 order is directly proportional to initial concentration A naught. That is the reason why I can say T half and initial concentration of A. So, it is going to be a straight line passes through the origin, right. Look at this. By looking at the graph, you please don't hesitate, okay. And moving ahead, the graph for the half-life, just I drew na, bacho. Hello, WJ, WJJ, WJ, WJ and W. Weird name. I'm comfortable to call you with your nice name. If you are okay, you just mention hi. I want to know your name. Okay. So let's move ahead. If you have any doubts, please let me know. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Arav, hello. Now moving ahead, example of 0 order. By looking at the reaction, we can say photochemical reactions are 0 order reactions, beta. And this is a photochemical reaction, light catalyzer reaction. And also any compound is decomposing on the surface of the metal is called as a 0 order reaction. Hi Prince, nice name, lovely name, all the best, God bless you. And generally decomposition of gases on the metal surface follows 0 order, beta. Prince, if you have any doubts, please mention in the chat box. Now I want to jump into 0 order half-life T half. So we'll come back to this. Now I want to say here, first order here, first order kinetics. A reaction is said to be first order when it depends on its concentration. So rate is equal to Ka to the power 1 is said to be first order kinetics. It is said to be first order kinetics. If you have a question from the chemical kinetics, I strongly recommend 2 formulas. One is first order kinetics formula, another one is Arrhenius equation formula. Fine. Now moving ahead here, so R is equal to Ka to the power 1. So rate and concentration for the first order, as concentration, initial concentration is increased, rate is going to be increased. So I want to say rate is equal to Ka to the power 1 and rate is equal to minus dA by dt is equal to Ka to the power 1. I want to say here, moving ahead, so minus dA by dt is equal to Ka, and you can also say minus dA minus x upon dt is equal to Ka minus x. You can use this or this, both meaning is same. Let A moles are initially taken, x moles are consumed, x moles are going to be formed. So At is equal to A minus x, right? And on integrating dx by A minus x is equal to K, dx is integrated from 0 to t times Okay, Priyanka, Chaitanya, Sec 56, Gurgaon, Sector 56 or what? I don't understand. Okay, so you are from Sri Chaitanya. Welcome to the Sri Chaitanya NEET Academy. Okay, now you are doing so. Dx by a minus x is equal to k dt. You are integrating from 0 to x concentration. So a naught to at and 0 time to t time. Fine. And you're going to get total expression for the 0 order comes to be, I don't want to take into the much detailed explanations because derivations are not that important, but derivation को जो छोटा छोटा pieces आता है ना वो काफ़ी important है प्रियंका. And this is given as k is equal to 2.303 by t log a naught upon at. Okay, or else you can write k 2.303 upon t log a by a minus x. Fine. So if you write log a is equal to log a naught minus kt upon 2.303, if you take a graph between log a upon t, you are going to get a straight line with a negative slope. Slope is equal to minus k by 2.303. This is very important. This is first order. Zero order, recall zero order. For zero order, क्या होगा? You are going to get concentration of A upon T. You are going to get like this. So slope is equal to minus K. So that is the difference between the zero order and the first order. Friends, any doubt? Friends, any doubt? I am expecting you to ask doubts. Fine. Now moving ahead, this is the one exponential form. A is equal to a naught exponent kt is the exponential formula, and let us talk about concentration of A versus T. For the first order is going to be rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. These graphs are super important. These graphs are super important for NEET examination, बच्चों, right? Expecting doubts from your side. Moving ahead here, half-life. T half, you see, T half means time required to complete half of the reaction. So when A becomes A naught by 2, then T becomes T half. That is what is called as a half-life. So on solving T half for the first order is A action is going to be 0.693 by K. I mean to say T half concentration for the first order it is independent. For zero order, recall zero order का क्या होगा? T half and initial concentration is going to be straight line passes through the origin. Hey कि ना? Now there is another important parameter, average one. Actually for CBSE it is not that required, but in NEET examinations it is required. T average is the reciprocal of the rate constant, the rate constant of reaction. And also for the first order rate expression A is equal to A naught exponents kt, okay, and putting the value of A in the equation 3, 0 is equal to A naught, so time required to complete the reaction. So reactant in a final concentration becomes 0, so reaction is 100% completed. Now it is equated to 0, then E exponent of kT is equal to 0, and if you take out the t, t is going to be infinity. So theoretically, first order reaction takes infinite time to complete, and first order reaction never proceed till completion. That is the important parameter you need to know. So if somebody asks you in 2 marks question or 1 mark question, you have to prove it, you have to prove it. First order reaction never proceed till completion. Okay. Now you can say rate units, rate is equal to K, concentration K, so unit rate constant mole liter inverse second inverse, unit of concentration mole liter inverse, so put it there, unit of concentration is equal, unit of K is equal to second inverse. Thank you very much, Prince. Thank you very much. Please like the session and share with your friends and subscribe to Sri Chaitanya Academy NEET YouTube channel. And thank you for your compliments. And little moving ahead. So generally for the first order reaction, Na gives rise to product. Rate is equal to Ka. And dA by dt is equal to Ka. And also in the first order reaction, an equal percentage of reaction get consumed at equal times. That is the important parameter. Example, if R is equal to reactant concentration is 100, 5 seconds को 90 होगा, और 5 seconds को 81 होगा, और 5 seconds को 72.9 होगा. So 5 seconds में कितना complete किया, उतना ही complete होना चाहिए. So I mean to say here, famous examples for decomposition of H2O2 on MnO2 is a catalyst. All radioactive decomposition reactions are going to be first order reactions. Good afternoon, Poonam. How are you? And also bacterial growth you study, bacterial growth in biology, it also follows the first order reaction. Second order काफी इतना important नहीं है. So I just want to skip it up. And also moving ahead, yes. So units of a rate constant. This is a simple rate constant K is equal to mole 1 minus n liter n minus 1 and second inverse. N is the order of a reaction. For zero order reaction, mole liter inverse second inverse. For first order reaction, second inverse. For second order reaction, you can see mole inverse liter second inverse. So Poonam, and I request those who are online, please like the session. Yes, sir, आपके 3 million subscriber फिर अच्छे नहीं the session में नहीं वो subscriber का depend करते हैं नहीं बेटा. Actually this is examination season, so the students are less denser now. Don't worry. So follow the class and don't follow the other parameters. In this YouTube channel we talk about only subject beta. And let us talk about very important thing, pseudo fast order reaction. You are going to get 2 marks question from the CBS examination. Poonam, so the order of reaction sometimes altered by conditions. So depending upon the conditions, a second order reaction can behave as a first order reaction. So the reaction whose order is different from that of actual order due to excess of one of the reactant is taken, such reactions behave like a just first order reaction. Such reactions are called pseudo first order reaction. Uttar Pradesh. Thank you. Aprijit. Yeah, you used to come to my classes previously, right? Okay, anyways, let us say, example I want to say, for a second order reaction, A plus B gives rise to the product, rate is equal to KAB. It is supposed to be a second order reaction if it is an elementary reaction. If concentration of the reaction experimentally is taken excess, the change in concentration with respect to the excess Ag is negligible during the course of the reaction. Yeah, Poonam, आप यूपी से आए हैं. Okay, so what will happen? This order with respect to A becomes 0. So क्या बचेगा? The concentration depend only on B. That is going to be a behavior of the first order reaction. So that is false first order reaction. Okay, so the reaction becomes a first order. Such reactions are said to be pseudo first order reaction. And you can say the other one, ethyl acetate, H2O, acetic acid and ethanol. Ghaziabad se aap, very good. If water is taken in large excess, what will happen? This is an ester. I mean to say the rate, it was is equal to K, ester and water. If water is taken in large excess, you Kanpur say, is going to be K, ester and H2O. So this is what is called pseudo first order reaction, I just want to say. So as a change of H2O during the reaction, rate is negligible. Such is called pseudo first order reaction. This is a 2 marks question from the NCERT. Any doubt, bachcho? You can also say hydrolysis of sucrose is going to give glucose and fructose. उसी process में optical activity उल्टा होगा. So this is called inversion process. This is called inversion of sugar. And in that, if water is taken in the large excess, the rate with respect to this is going to be sucrose to the power 1, sucrose to the power 1 and water to the power 0. So overall order of a reaction is going to be a pseudo first order reaction. Arey beta, no personal chatting, no personal chatting. Priyanka? Yes, please. Aprijit, please, those who are online, please like this session, share with your friends and subscribe to Sri Chaitanya Academy NEET YouTube channel. Bachcho, that's good. And also for nth order reaction, so graphs, very important graphs, rate, concentration is independent 0 order. Rate, concentration, just a straight line passes through the origin, first order. Now rate, concentration exponentially increases second order. And rate, concentration square, it is passes through the origin, concentration square hoga to it is going to be a second order. So by looking at that graph, you can say, right? Yes, bacho, we discussed so many things in today's class, and this is about the 0 order. We already discussed concentration versus time is going to be a negative slope, and slope is going to be minus k, and it is going to be the first order का जो ग्राफ्स हैं, log a naught by a, log a naught by a versus time, you are going to get a straight line, but log a versus time is going to be a negative slope, right? Poonam, fine. And we already discussed about Arrhenius equation, its various parameters. Now कल मिलेंगे हम थोड़ा सा इसका ऊपर थोड़ा न्यूमेरिकल करने का कोशिश करता हूँ. Okay, effective collisions and all, right? And as the time is almost exhausted and एक छुट्टी लेना है अभी. Okay, अपराजित. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you like this session. And yes, please subscribe to this channel. And अगर आपको कुछ डाउट होगा तो ये चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं, कमेंट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं. So use these sessions and get better in your CBS examination as well as NEET examination. फिर कल मिलेंगे थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चंस पकड़ के, right? Okay, so I'm signing off. Suresh, Faculty of Chemistry from the YouTube studio. Bye bye.